anything on the web for I make you look Bucketheads. I make you look Pablo. I make you Ladderone. I make you Longla. I make you Latasha. I make you Austin. I make you Bucketheads. I make you Pablo. I make you Tyrone. I make you Uniqla. I make you Tasha. I make you Austin. I make you laugh the fair lad friends. I make you Tim Turner. I make you Cosmo. I make you Wanda. I make you the fair lad friends. I make you Tim Turner. I make you Cosmo. I make you Wanda. I make you laugh the Dupla Bops. I make you Laddy. I make you Rooney. I make you Lamo. I make you the Dupla Bops. I make you DD. I make you Rooney. I make you Mo. I make you Ladversus. I make you laugh the Patinthahut. I make you Laziches. I make you Lahortin the Elephant. I make you Laird Lathidal. I make you Laput Muthazoo. I make you laugh the Zax. I make you Lagranix Sandham. I make you Lassen. I make you Lagrange. I make you Lorax. I make you Dorsus. I make you Unfecatinthahut. I make you Sieges. I make you Hortin the Elephant. I make you your Lathidal. I make you Muthazoo. I make you Physics. I make you Greenix Sandham. I make you Sam. I make you Grinch. I make you Lorax. I make you laugh at Amaquarl Chop. I make you Lamertomica. I make you Lachavin. I make you David. I make you Amaquarl Chop. I make you Mertomica. I make you Kevin. I make you David. I make you Junior Jets Grounded. I make you Junior. I make you Junior Jets Grounded. I make you Junior. I make you laugh at Lorenz Ainspurs. I make you Brotherber. I make you Sisterber. I make you Mamaber. I make you Papaber. I make you Lorenz Ainspurs. I make you Brotherber. I make you Sisterber. I make you Mamaber. I make you Papaber. I make you Chris Cliffinis Dangeroskin. I make you Chris Cliffin. I make you Chris Cliffinis Dangeroskin. I make you Chris Cliffin. I make you Peter Griffinis the Dangerous father. I make you Peter Griffin. I make you Peter Griffinis the Dangerous father. I make you Peter Griffin. I make you Law and Eat the Poowa. I make you Law and Eat the Poo. I make you Lapu. I make you Winnie the Poowa. I make you Winnie the Pooh. I make you Pooh. I make you Laugh the Loud House. I make you Lalinkal. I make you the Loud House. I make you Linkal. I make you Lego. I make you Duplo. I make you Lego. I make you Duplo. I make you laugh for Rogers. I make you latterly slaying burns. I make you Fred Rogers. I make you underly slaying burns. I make you Latchuk time. I make you Chuck time. I make you Lorky Convegan. I make you look chocolate cheese. I make you Where It Convegan. I make you chocolate cheese. Sorry, there's no home address for chocolate cheese. Cowput, output, 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 childput, biosport, kabaska, overesput, lowput, cowput, bowput, southput, payoutput, southput, output, output, high output, 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 cowput, bowput, output, output, mouseiha, salad and yuha. Tap the name below if you'd like to write one. For this emotion, I prescribe chocolate cheese. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh for Georgers. Winnie the Pooh only slaying burns. Winnie the Pooh of time. Winnie the Pooh Eric Convegan. Winnie the Pooh chocolate cheese. Let's talk about the mouse. The place called Chuck E. Cheese. Let's see the characters. We have Chuck E. Cheese, Helen Henny, Mr. Munch, Jasper D. Giles, and Pascali. Let's talk about the mouse. The place called Chocolate Cheese. Let's see the characters. We have Chocolate Cheese, Helen Honey, Munch, Jasper Giles, and Pascali. Uh-oh, we have a problem. Can you try again? Let's talk about the mouse. The classic chocolate cheese. Let's see the directors. Winner the chocolate cheese. Helen Honey, Munch, Jasper Giles, and Pascali. Oh no, there is a problem again. Can you try again? Do you want to talk about the mouse? Okay. Mouse has a hat. It's called Chuck E. Cheese. Do you want to talk about the mouse? Okay. Mouse has a hat. It's called chocolate cheese. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? Boy, I want to talk about the mouse. Okay. Mouse has a hat. It's called chocolate cheese. Uh-oh, there is something wrong here. Can you please try that again? Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse. Chocolate cheese is a mouse. Chocolate cheese is a mouse. I don't eat, though if I did, I'd eat chocolate cheese. Let's talk about Junior Gets Grounded. The show called Junior Gets Grounded. His best friends are Nathaniel and Robot. We have Junior, Miss Floaty, Mr. Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Miss Bevel, Mr. Bevel, Robot and Karen. Let's talk about Junior Gets Grounded. The show called Junior Gets Grounded. His best friends are Nathaniel and Robot. We have Junior, Miss Floaty, more Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Miss Bevel, more Bevel, Robot and Karen. Uh-oh, there's a problem. Can you try again? Let's talk about Junior Jets grounded. Fashao Kala Junior Jets grounded. His best friends are on a anal androbit. Wemba Junior, Ms. Floaty, more Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Ms. Bethel, more Bethel, Robatan Curran. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? Okay, here's the dupla box. Okay, here's the biddy. Okay, here's the Billy. Okay, here's the Timo. Okay, here's the Tibrasus. Okay, here's the Tinthahit. Okay, here's the Tismeaches. Okay, here's the Horton the Elephant. Okay, here's the Lepidal. Okay, here's the Tapad Muthazoom. Okay, here's the Tifazax. Okay, here's the Tigrenix Sandham. Okay, here's the Tism. Okay, here's the Tigrinch. Okay, here's the Bilorax. Okay, here's the Dipodamicrolcha. Okay, here's the Dermatomaka. Okay, here's the Tikavin. Okay, here's the David. Okay, here's the Junior Jets grounded. Okay, here's the Junior. Okay, here's the Lorenzane Spurs. Okay, here's the Togrotherber. Okay, here's the Disisturber. Okay, here's the Timamaber. Okay, here's the Tipapaber. Okay, here's the Ticriscophinus Dangeroskin. Okay, here's the Ticriscophin. Okay, here's the Tipergraphinus Dangeros Father. Okay, here's the Tipatergraphin. Okay, here's the Tiwinith the Puwa. Okay, here's the Tiwinith the Poo. Okay, here's the Tipu. Okay, here's the Tippa Loudhouse. Okay, here's the Tillinkal. Okay, here's the Dillago. Okay, here's the Duplo. Okay, here's the Tippertwitchers. Okay, here's the Diddly Slaying Bruns. Okay, here's the Titchik Time. Okay, here's the Tiwarakikan Beacon. Okay, here's the Chocolate Cheese. Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh. The show called Winnie the Pooh. The boy named Christopher Robin. We have Pooh Bear, Eeyore the Donkey, King Gun Little Roo, Rabbit, Owl, Piglet and Tigger. Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh. The show called Winnie the Pooh. The boy named Christopher Robin. We have Pooh Bear, Eeyore the Donkey, King Gun Little Roo, Rabbit, Owl, Piglet and Tigger. Oh no, there's a problem. Can you please try it again? Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh. The Shaukel and Winnie the Pooh. The boy named Christopher Robin. Will the Pooh, Eeyore the Donkey, King Gun Little Roo, Rabbit, Owl, Piglet and Tigger. Oops, there's a problem here. Can you please try that again? Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. The Winnie the Pooh is brought to you by Winnie the Pooh. The Winnie the Pooh is the same as Winnie the Pooh. Let's do Winnie the Pooh with alphabetical orders. Let's start. Alon, Pooh, Ko-O, Do, Ia, Fo, Pooh, Ia, Ju, Pooh, Liu, Mu, New. Oh, Pooh, Pooh, Roo, Su, Ju, Roo, Do, Wu, Zu, You, Zu. Thanks for playing with alphabetical order with Pooh from Winnie the Pooh. Come back more of the alphabetical orders. Visit us at www.alphabeticalorders.com. I found a note, so let's read it. Orange is a female dancer is a main of deuteragonist of an episodes from Bottom Biting Bug. She's one of the female dancers are orange, peach, cherry, and apple. She is from Ashiri Kajiri Mushi. The gender is female. She's one of your cold fever, might be crying and hugging with cherry. Having a boo-boo here. She's having a cold fever on her forehead. Meanwhile, she realized her, but not always about her clothes or red shirt and white female clothes and the yellow butt. But don't let us for the female bug have eyelashes and bug teeth. She's one sassy insect bug. In the end of the episode, she's watching Bottom Biting Bug after he bites a butt. 2,000 years later, the Biter Bells are female dancers, will be chased for Bottom Biting Bug and he climbed the tree and he gets a balloon. Bottom Biting Bug is surprised for female dancer bugs, who has topped the TV specials from Bottom Biting Bug and the episodes on Japanese TV and English sub on the TV during the NHK. There's also more notes coming soon. See you later. Now here's Winnie the Pooh in Spanish. Como de talker de Winnie the Pooh. Show it de calado Winnie the Pooh. Bola de modo de Christopher Robina. What I or the Pooh Bear. Eeyore the Donkey. King Gunter Limarua. Rabbita. Aula. Peter de Tigra. Uh-oh. That's Spanish. It's English. Can you try again? Como de talker de Winnie the Pooh. Show it de calado Winnie the Pooh. Bola de modo de Christopher Robina. What I or the Pooh Bear. Eeyore the Donkey. King the Little Rabbita. Aula. Piglet de Tigra. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? Come on, talk to him and eat it too. Show out a calidon and eat it too. Boy, to my daddy Christopher Lavina. When I River. Eeyore the Donkey. King of the Little Rowan. Rabbita. Aula. Piglet de Gurjua. I don't get it. It's so not right. Can you please try that again? Now here's Winnie the Pooh in Russian. You mix it a weenus to poo. Pusho kaluda weenus to poo. The McBoya Austristopher Roberta. Chudumi Pumera. Eorly Donkea. Kangadelich Chulera Cadulus. Rabbits Chuia. Akadiarvala. Piglina Suta Gurjua. Oh no, it's wrong. Can you please try it again? You mix it a weenus to poo. Pusho kaluda weenus to poo. The McBoya Austristopher Roberta. Chudumi Pumera. Eorly Donkea. Kangadelich Chulera Cadulus. Rabbits Chuia. Akadiarvala. Piglitis Gurjua. Sorry, something's gone wrong. Can you try that again? Unix it Mr. Pooh. Hasha Kaludai Mr. Pooh. Humic Boyu Austristopher Roberta. Chudima Pubra. Eorla Donkea. Kangadelich Chulera Cadulus. Rabbits Chuia. Akadiarvala. Piglitis Gurjua. Oh no, something's wrong. Can you please try that again? Now here's Winnie the Pooh in Finnish. Klusuit Minalpa, Subashoka du Nalpa, Duboy say to so Christopher Robert Tio, Amir du Bipa, Ear Suda Donkey Iadua, King you are to Davaruba, Utermido, Alsado, Picklatudo say to say Tikarulima. Uh-oh, something's wrong. Can you try again? Klusuit Minalapo, Subashoka du Nalapo, Duboy say to so Christopher Robert Tio, Amir Dudapo, Ior Suda Donkey Iadua, Kangular Dudafaruba, Utermido, Alsado. Pickling the side of your lima. Having a wee bit of trouble. Can you please try it again? Clusuat the Nalapo, Sudashao the Nalapo, Duboyo Situas a Christopher Robert Tio, Ubor Dudapo, Iors Udadan Kiadua, Kangular Dudafaruba, Utermido, Alsado, Pickling the side of your lima. Oh no, something's wrong. Can you please try that again? Now here's Winnie the Pooh in Japanese. Chuyu Domoko Winnie the Pooh son. You try to say Winnie the Pooh son. The boy is set for the Christopher Avenue. Alchime the Pooh son. Ior the Nuncle. Congratulates Jalro Camo. Rapituda. Home. Picklatina Supagardi Kumo. Having a wee bit of trouble. Can you please try it again? Chudi the loco Winnie the Pooh son. You try to say Sue Winnie the Pooh son. The boy is set for the Christopher Avenue. Alchime the Pooh son. Ior the Donko. Congratulates Jalro Camo. Rapituda. Home. Sorry, there's a problem here. Can you please try that again? Chuda Lakau and Eda Pusin. Your chat is Sassel and Eda Pusin. Chuda Boyo set with that Christopher Avenue. Outrame with a Pusin. Ior the Donko. Candidate Chiller Camo. Rapituda. Home. Uh-oh, something's wrong. Can you try again? Now here's Winnie the Pooh in Greek. Iko dada socho Winnie Sapuda, Chasho mi Winnie Sapuda, Kuboy casted mod the Christopher Urbanilla, Vas Vepuda, Irsa Don Kiel, Kagacho Fuberchuda, Rabbit Cuda, Alphoda, Pickletato Cata de Grupazo. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? Iko dada socho Winnie Sapuda, Chasho mi Winnie Sapuda, Kuboy casted mod the Christopher Urbanilla, Vas Vepuda, Irsa Don Kiel, Kagacho Fuberchuda, Rabbit Cuda, Alphoda, Pickletato Cata de Grupazo. I'm having a bit of trouble here. Can you please try that again? I could add a saw chow in a sepuda. Shishal in a sepuda. Cuboy Castuma de Christopher Urbanilla. Vas Vepuda. Ior Sadal Kilo. King Gachi with your chuda. Rabbit Cuda. Alphoda. Pig light about it at the zone. Having a wee bit of trouble. Can you please try it again? I found Dr. Mouse but not chocolate cheese. You saw his hat put the Oblongs put bios for Kukabas Pasai over us put mouse that has the under split children put mouse that has your hat put ganon put mouse that has your hat put the Oblongs put the Lokayar Diga. It's we put Durina put in put for shit put pasta put bios for Kukabas Pasai over us put mouse that has the under split put mouse that put monster put dog put chef put Gustas put a our science Sarak put ducks put status put happy magic sack was John's to possess cab. Happy big rape him put dad put the top he had thumb happy pats happy sequel side split at ha some leverage stand to has they had for Ted apps mag except what were much that folks from much that love Sessy with some the bit they would Sessy with some have at king to Ted happy at magic sack the doctor for pagel foot status maybe cabinet was John's magic magic sack, stretched crust, missing suction. This is big one. My heat, fats, cheese balls, heads, ham, what dad, what hands, pop, pat, hat heaps, pop, magic sack, stretched crust, missing suction. Spit, pat, scorn, head, magic sack, stretched crust, missing suction. Split pebble dad, sack. Was ik had pop it, Matty, fast match, copper, FBO, pad, the pops, the pod, spot, heaps of bot, what's mad, man, pad out, pod after pod, with hands, pop, pat, pepper pop, the FBO, pad, pops, man, Mark, pot, copper, FBO, pad, my heat, man, sack, pad, bad, pop, doctor, pod, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, perhaps equal side, jam, match, sack, since up, hat, FBO, pack, fast match, pops, pods, clean that, hot, some leverage, and fair has, the abs, mag, except for the match, that focus from the match, that logish. Heat, man, pat, said, cheese balls, heat, fast match, heat, the pops, the pods, heat, clean that, heat, fast match, quite challenge that, heat, the top, pat, swap, heat, like something with colorly net, look breaking to patch, a heap of spat, pet, bitch, pop, flex lips, mimically napped, hit, pop, rally nap, mad, pop, skip, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, 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 stack, bitch, pop, flex lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, flex fit, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, 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 pop, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, pop, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, 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 pad, B, pop, flex lips, pad, bitch, 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 pop, flex lips, pad, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, H, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, sad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, sad, pet, and bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pop, spent, patty, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, clean up, smart, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, pop, pad, pig, pad, pig, pop, patty, pop, clean that, pad, baby, pomades, baby, smart, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, pad, lips, sad, pad, flex, with hair cop, bit, pop, sex, pit, patty, pig, lips, sad, baby, sex, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, brooks, pop, flex, lips, sex, with man, pepper, baby, pop, lips, savage, sometime, patty, but pop, second, pit, map, and book, low, use it, put bird, put minster, put dog, put chef, put mouse, that has your hand, put iosmere, put kavaska, sayo, rest, put barolet, put airbox, put iosmere, kavaska, sayo, rest, put chick filler, put iosmere, put cow, aska, sayo, rest, put mouse, that has your hand, put iosmere, put kavaska, sayo, rest, put little cardigans, put derrida, put nickel, put fishit, put austin, put lorenra, plus mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put chick filler, put chocto, put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, last burst, put osmere, works out, plus burst, put mouse, that has your hand, put burrow head, put gymnast, put mouse, that has under scoop, put clone, put scoop, put mo, use that has your hand, put the spear, works out, plus burst, put mouse, that has your hand, put the more candid, put mouse, that has under scoop, and put Philip, put mouse, that has your hand, put Jirai, Ranger, Bichandical, Urgamala, Bugsterion, Whittleye, Pinkin, card, put Iosper, put Kavaska, Sayo, Burris, put mouse, that has under scoop, put Philip, put mouse, that has your hand, put Pospear, Wilkes, Alcos, Burris, put Temple, put Jirai, Ranger, Bichandical, Urgamala, Bugsterion, Whittleye, Pin camping card, put Iosper, put Kavaska, Sayo, Burris, put the more candid, put mouse, that has under scoop, men, put green men, put brown men, put orange men, put yellow men, put blue men, put men, just look at it, put sycamore, use it, put bird, put minster, put dog, put chef, put toad, put it, put biosphere, put kavaska, sioberus, put green toad, put red toad, put blue toad, put yellow toad, put pink toad, put bashir, kajiri, bashir, put first match, kapal, viola, pad, pops, pun pipes, heaps of five, what's the matter? Man, pad out, pad, octopods, pepper pop, viola, pad, pops, perhaps a cross-edged jack, match, first match, pasta pipes, clean that, hot hot, some leverage tend to has, they had to ted abs mag, except for the much, that folks, for much, that loves the cheese balls, heat first match, heat the pops pun pipes, heat clean that, heat second, first match, quad jump, clean that, heat the top, swap, second, pet, heat, like something with color in that, perhaps a heat, spat, pet, pop, first, flex lips, with a galley nap, first, holy nap, pat, pop, spec, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, 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 spat, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, tab, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, pitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pad, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, 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 pop, first, flex lips, pop, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, 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 flex lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, 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 bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, 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 bitch, pop, first, flex lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop works pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop works lips pad pad bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop works pet pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for seven pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pad pet bitch pop works pop flex lips pad and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips for pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pop spec natty pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips clean apps slap change tab and bitch pop works pop flex lips range pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips range pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pads and pad pet and bitch pop works pop flex lips pad pop pads and heavy pad heavy pop natty pad pop clean app now heavy comments heavy smart pad pet and bitch pop works pop works spits up the sample pack flex repair cotton works hit pop sack works hit natty works heavy the sabbath heavy sack pad pet and bitch pop works spits the sack man heavy pop the sabbath sometime natty the pop map it, look low. Use it, put bird, put minster, put dog, put chef, put toad, put it, put green toad, put red toad, put blue toad, put yellow toad, put pink toad, put mouse, and hesslahid underscript, put philip, put shirai, ranger, put chandical, urgamel, bugsterion, woodalite, pink camping card, put behots, put pool. Alsa Hesterhat put Biosphore Kukavas Kasai over us put Biosphore Kukavas Kasai over us put Gahaha some Melvich Tan to has Fliad Turtedabs Mag set would rematch that focus not rematch that merge you don't think put beef a crunch put captain crunch put being birded put overrias last for us put Hospire Wilkes Alcasas for us put men put let's try again put Gahaha some Melvich Tan to has Fliad Turtedabs Mag set would rematch that focus would low you don't think put beef a crunch put captain crunch put being birded put overrias last for us put Hospire Wilkes Alcasas for us put gods to head put let's try it again Gahaha some Melvich Tan to has Fliad Turtedabs Mag set would rematch that foe you don't think put beef a crunch put captain crunch put being birded put overrias last for us put Hospire Wilkes Alcasas for us put it's a master put let's try it and then we're gonna put Gahaha some Melvich Tan to has Fliad Turtedabs Mag set would low Filter put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean bird put varias last boris put pass bear woke salcus ias boris put yeah hot some leverage stand to has they had to today apps mag except what were much that phone much that low mo use it put minster put dog put chef put ias bear put kabaska sayo boris put mouse that has your hand put toad put it put green toad put red toad put blue toad put yellow toad put pink toad put mouse that has your hand put Philip put mouse that has a hat put just put angel like a put timid put ios put kabaska sayo boris put dill put did put gimmick put stu put susi put phil put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put chucky put visitor put mouse that has your hand put chocto put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean bird put varias last boris put pass bear woke salcus ias boris put mouse that has a headenders put a shear a jerry bishop put mouse that has your hand put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put mo use that has your hand put ios put kabaska sayo boris put mouse that has your hand put pusla hashat put now hashat put out has your hand put hashat put now hashat put out has your hand put your range of the changeable earth and other bugs on wood alive pin camping card put ios put kabaska sayo boris put mouse that has a headenders put Joliar jets grounded put a shear a jerry bishop put Netflix put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put mo use that has your hand put ios put kabaska sayo boris put mouse or such a cheese hand put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put little keys ours put mouse that has your hand put Netflix put your range of the change of fair familiar bugs on wood like pin card put clutch power slip put ios put kabaska sayo boris put mouse that has a headenders put mount carmel put mouse that has your hand put mouse put bird put monster put dog put chef put Netflix put mo use that has your hand put ios put kabaska sayo boris put clutch power slip put mouse that has a headenders put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put Joliar jets grounded put your range of the changeable earth and bugs on wood light pink card put ios put kabaska sayo boris put Bucketheads ventral soft clutch power slip put mouse that has a headenders put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put a shear a jerry bishop put mouse that has a headenders put chocto filter put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean bird put varias last boris put pass bear woke salcus ios boris put dominos put mount carmel put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put Nathaniel from Joliar jets grounded put chicken cheese put ios put kabaska sayo boris put geometry put Prometheus from Joliar jets grounded put mouse that has a headenders put ios bear put kabaska sayo boris put Druis from angel of the shouts put Demeter put Jim Neutron put heat pop app cheese balls heat first match heat the pots for pods heat clean out heat set but first match which we never heat the cow swap heat like something with colorly net chat heat spat pet pop flex lips Nicola pop holy nap pop spec pad pet bitch pop flex lips pad pet bitch pop flex lips pad pet speed pop flex lips pad pet bitch 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 pop flex lips spat pet bitch pop flex lips spat pet bitch pop flex lips pad pet bitch pop speed habit pet bitch pop flex lips pad 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 pad bitch pop flex lips pad pet 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 pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, bitch, stab pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, stab pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pop, pad, 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 and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, clean apps, not jet, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pop, pad, heavy, pad, heavy, pop, natty, pop, clean, nasty, now, heavy, pop, heavy, smart, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, top, the sample, pad, plants, repair, pop, works, hit, pop, sack, works, hit, natty, works, hit, the sabbath, heavy, sack, pad, 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 I pop, works, works, the sack, split, man, pop, the sabbath, some natty, the pop, pit, map, no, use it, put word, put minster, put dog, put chef, put mouse, the history hand, put goatee, put biosphère, put kavaska, overus, put mouse, the history hand, put delta, put biosphère, put kavaska, overus, put to the mouse, put little piecers. Building put beef a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put varias last burst, put osbear looks off as burst, put biosphère, put kavaska, overus, put guitar, put tonka, put mouse, the history hand, put trader just put maps, mop, sick, pet, something with cuddly net, look rich, patch, heap, spat, pet, pop, works, flex, lips, lyrically net, works, hit, rallyna, look, pat, pop, spec, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, 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 pet, bitch, pop, works, works, pipes for pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, 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 pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pop, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, 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 pet, bitch, pop, works, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, 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 lips, spat, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, 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 pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, 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 bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, works, flex, lips, pad, pet, slips for pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips for pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex pet pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips for pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pad bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pop specs natty pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips clean app smart ginge pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips flinch pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips flinch pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad second pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips pad pop pad second baby pop slip natty pop clean app natty pop it smart pad pet and bitch pop flips pop flex slips top near sample pad plants faculty pair top pit pop sack pit natty pit sack baby sack pad bitch pop flex slips mock egg man baby pop lift savage natty pop use it for minister, put dog, put chef, put biosphere, put vascasio, put toad, put green toad, put mouse that has your hand, put red toad, put blue put biolodo, put big toad, put sandwich, put chick-fil-a, put vein, put chick, it has put biosphere, put vascasio, put Mount Carmel, put mouse that has your hand, put biosphere, put vascasio, put pondered out, put Joliard jets grounded, put mouse that has your hand, put Roland, put milk, put chuck toast. Put different beef and crunch, put peptine crunch, put bean bird, put Lorias, last burst, put pos, beer, woke, sulcus, ass, burst, put mouse that has your hand, put tiller, put mouse that has your hand, put Lorenzo, put mouse that has your hand, put biosphere, put Kavaska, Virus, put pumpkin, pico, Savix, split, matty, magic, sack, stretch, first, was John's, with his ass cat. That had big weight, Pam, put dad, put the top, he, pet, stump, that he, pat said, he, so said, pat, yeah, hot, some leverage, and to has, they had for 10 apps, mag, said, what were much, did phones, from much, they love, sassy, ones, the bit, there were sassy, have at me, and put that, he, pet, magic, sack, stretch, pod out, pod, little sacks, little spinning cabinet, was John's magic sack, stretch, salt, the business bit made, he, fats, cheese balls, ham, dad, perhaps, pop, pack, that hoops, pop, magic sack, stretch, storm, what hair cotton, magic sack, started to curse, soldier, split tad, sack, was sack, Edwin, Bob it, Matty, first match, copper, after the old pack, the pops for time, spot, Matty, so fat, what's mad, man, bed, blood, pad out, pod after pod, perhaps, pop, pepper pop, copper, after the old pack pops. Man, smart, pod, copper, after the old pack, heat. Sack. Doctor Podge, spit, capsules, edge, jack, match, sack, up, hat, the black, the old, hat, snap, pop pops, pom pods, clean that, yeah, hot hot, some little rich tan to has, yeah, for ted apps, mag, except for much, that foes, from much, that lows, happy, man, happy, 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 man, cheese box, happy, fast match, happy, the pops, the pods, he clean that, happy, fast match, watching that, he, the top, perhaps not, I had, happy, like, something with totally that, perhaps he, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, literally nap, pit, rally, nap, man, pop, spat, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, 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 pad, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and 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 bitch, pop, first, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pop, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, speed, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, spit, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, spit, pad, pad, pet, bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and 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 bitch, pop, first, bitch, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, stab, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and 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 bitch, pop, first, spit, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, first, flex, lips, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, stab, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, stab, pad, pad, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, bitch, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pop, suspect, happy, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, naps, not jiff, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, second, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pop, pad, second, baby, pad, baby, pop, heat, pad, pop, clean that, baby, tonics, baby, smart, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, cow, mix that, pad, flex, repair cow, pop, sack, happy, mix that, baby, sack, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, sack, man, mom, man, baby, pop, mix that, some happy, pop, second, happen, Owlset, put bird, put minster, put dog, put chef, put toad, put green toad, put red toad, put blue toad, put earlo toad, put pink toad, put biosphère, put kavaska, overus, put lahore, put howl, put glad, put digger, put mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put dirt out, put red stains, bear, put third, put sister, put mimic, put regrets, put biosphère, put kavaska, overus, put timid, put tricky, put phil, put lil, put angel, put gimmick, put phil, put sissy, put bass about, put biosphère. Put Kasai over us, put chest, put stu, put mouse, the history hand, put visitor, put did it, put Genovese, put Charlotte, put Drury, put nut, put him just a mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put Pergamon, put mouse, Sarah Sahab, put chuck toe, honey filter, put beef, a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put Marias, last for us, put hospital, works, alcosas, for us, put mouse, the history hand, put there, put Lewis, put our, put toads, put the housey off mouse, that bird, put monster, bow. Up dog, put chef, put toad, put green toad, put head toad, put blue toad, put yellow toad, put mouse, the history hand, put pink toad, put dirt out, put peanuts, put bird, put possessed, put mouse, the history hand, put disaster, put woody, put white hoven, owls, put bird, put minster, put dog, put chef, put toad, put green toad, put red toad, put blue toad, put yellow toad, put mouse, the history hand, put pink toad, put lahore, put cane, put howl, put glad, put digger, put low, use the history hand, put Iosper, put Kavaska, overus, put scotch, put mouse, the history hand, put hospital, put energy mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put mouse, the history hand, put cup, put buoy, put beef, a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put Marias, last for us, put hospital, works, alcosas, for us, put mouse, the history hand, put North Park, put mouse, the history hand, put bepots, put denotes, put hold dominion. Put beef, a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put Marias, last for us, put hospital, works, alcosas, for us, put mouse, the history hand, put little key stars, put mouse, the history hand, put systemestry, put mouse, the history hand, put smell, put those new. Put Iosper, put Kavaska, overus, put milk, put the file, do the mouse, see the key, put cardinal, put mouse, put mouse, has your hand, put moist, sham, put loose, sham, put whirlpool, put mouse. Has a view named his tail, put puce, sham, put mouse, with sham, put bios, for Kavas, Kasai, over us, with Maui, sham, put house, has your hand, put mouse, has your same message, put mouse, has your hand, put house, has your hand, put douse, has your hand, put jouse, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put now, Sarah, has your hand, put nori. Who filter, put beef, a crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean, birded, put varias, last, for us, put house, beer, works, alcos, I ask, for us, put little keys, ours, put mouse, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put sauce, has your hand, put use, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put Tosca, poo. Pios, for Kavas, Kasai, over us, put choked again, put sauce, has your hand, put pios, has your hand, put flint, liquid, put mouse, has your hand, put sauce, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put falsa, has your hand, put eos, has your hand, put eos, has your hand, put falsa, has your hand, put target, put bios, bear, go. Bosca Sile worse, put Prowsa has your hand, put Eos has your hand, put Eos, put Prowsa, put Cowsa, put Eos, put Eos, put Falsa, put Prowsa, put Salsa, put Falsa, put Piazza, put Salsa, put Falsa, put Eos, put Salsa, put Falsa, put Falsa, put Nausa, put Falsa, put Falsa, put Chausa, put Dausa, put Tausa, put put beef, a crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean, bird, put varias, last for us, put hospital, works, alcos, I ask for us, put young king, put Oliver, put little key stars, put footers, put Pausa, put Pausa, put mouse, put put beef, a crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean, bird, put varias, last for us, put hospital, works, alcos, I ask for us, put mouse, has your hand, put stupid poops, put crest, put low, use, has your hand, put bios, bear, put Kavas, Kasai, over us, put let's talk about the mouse, put the bliss, collection of cheese, put let's see the directors, put well, vegetable cheese, put chunk, put denotes, put best police, put mouse, has your hand, put mouse, has your hand, put Sandy, put mouse, has your hand, put bios, bear, put Kavas, Kasai, over us, put full and put lunch, put Jasper, Giles, put parent pass wall, put bios, put Kavas, Kasai, over us, put mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put mouse, has your hand, put pancake, put overrides, last for us, put her box, put Del Nordic, put keeper, put mouse, has your hand, put Isabel, put cheese, put let's talk about him. Alza, put the bliss, collection of cheese, put bios, for Kavas, Kasai, over us, put mouse, has Highlanders, put mouse, has your hand, put let's see the directors, put chicken cheese, put full and put lunch, put Jasper, Giles, put parent pass, put pat, snob. Pat heat, something with colorly nudge, look Patrick, heat, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, milkily nap, works, pop, rally nap, pat, pop, spat, pat, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, pat, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, pat, pet, and pitch, pop, works, pop, works, pat, pat. Bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, pad, pet, and 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 bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, spat, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, pad, 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 pad, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, pad, pet, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, pad, pad, pad. Pop, works, pop, flex, pad, pet, and bitch, 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 pop, works, pop, flex, spat, pet, bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, fits, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, lips, spat, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, pop, works, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, spat, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, rainbow, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, works, lips, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, stab, pad, pad, bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, stab, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pop, spectacles, natty, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, clean apps, not just pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, pad, pop, patsy, pad, pop, patty, her pop, clean that, pad, comments, smart, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, works, pop, flex, lips, tab, mix that, pad, plants, hair top, works, hit, pop, sack, works, hit, patty, works, the sack, sack, pad, pad, and pitch, pop, works, pop, works, lips, the sack, man, baby, pop, the savage, sometime, patty, pop, second, works, hit, map it, I'll say, put minster, put dog, put chef, put biosphere, put kavas, kasai, overrest, put mouse, the history, put honer, mushroom, put honer, mushroom is green, put diminer, put tron, put cup, put out, put top, put down, put chop, put low, put cup, put super, mushroom, put biosphere, put kavas, kasai, overrest, put super, mushroom is red, put rocks, put low, put south, put biosphere, put kavas, kasai, overrest, put pale, put south, put blood, put proud, put high out, put yala, put god, put high, put south, put foul, put now, put out, put food, the next put honer, mushroom is green put biospore put kabaska sioborus put super mushroom is red put mouse the history hand put usa history hand put input an opium green glitter put the color forth of the sturdy thing horde our put cop put bow put fat put piala put let's talk about them also put the bliss collection of cheese put let's see the directors put the whole of cheese put full and put lunch put jasper chalice put ham pascal put saw mouse put bird put monster put dog put chef put biosphere put kabaska sioborus put Crooks, put mouse, the history hand, put the notice, put tiller, put mouse, the history hand, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put cactus, put mouse, the history hand, put Isabel, put pencil, but it put del norte, put plant stock. About the mouse, it put the bliss, collection of cheese, it put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put let's see the directors, put mouse, the history hand, put the whole of cheese, it put full and put lunch, put jasper, chalice, put ham pasquale, put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean burger, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put mouse, the history hand, put mouse, the history hand, put visit hut, put sandy, put low, use the history hand, put making sure visit, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put mouse, the history hand, put hoswall, put mouse, the history hand, put mouse, the history hand, put mouse, the history hand, put Nickelodeon, put Choctaw, put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put mouse, the history hand, put cospa, put hewlett, put card, put all the put garmin, put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put ninja freeze, put megaman, put PIRing, put cocktail, put EIRing, put he wants to play ball. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put kayak, put ninja freeze, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put PIRing, put jumper fun, put PIRing, put ruined. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put brandy, or the donkey, put PIRing, put firm winning, put little key stars, put low. Use the history hand, put mouse or such a cheese, the head and horse, legs, arms, or snow seen hands, put mouse, the history hand, put mouse, the history hand, put fire, dill, put will, put fuel, switch head, toe beef, crunch, and captain, crunch, and put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put fuel, switch head, toe beef, crunch, and captain, crunch, and all soy, slow, varias, lasperus, and hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put low. Use the history hand, put peanuts, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put mouse, the history hand, put little key stars, put mouse, the history hand, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put mouse, the history hand, put Michiels, put at Puma. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put ninja freeze, put mouse, the history hand, put twenda, fit, Maria, fat, put cheese, it put super cuts, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put the cabell, put handy express, put mouse, the history hand, put little key stars, put mouse, the history hand, put triple cheese, or such a cheese, put mouse, the has the hand. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put mouse, the history hand, put Arthur, put 16 Maria, fat, put biosphere, pakabaska, sioborus, new. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put the hidden for hand, put hold him in. Put beef, crunch, put captain, crunch, put bean bird, put varias, lasperus, put hospire, woke salpus, iasperus, put mouse, the history hand, put the hospire restaurant, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put mouse, service, the hat, put triple cheese, it put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put mouse, the history hand, put mouse, the history hand, put little key stars, put mouse, the history hand, put Toshiba, put mouse, the history hand, put Hal Star, put just put this, put angel, like a put mouse, the history hand, put biosphere, put kabaska, sioborus, put Daniel, teacher's name, put Daniel, put Missoula, put monk, put a cat, put toad, put green toad, put red toad, put load put bing toad put bit. Yarble put pedal put bios for Kavaska Sile Boris put Powell just look at from winning the put montager put bios bear Kavaska Sile Boris put that to your put prince who had nest day put in good put hair horful put smell potatoes. Who built a put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put overrias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put little key stars put mouse the history hand put all the put stupid put mouse the history hand put the rabarella stars medicimo. Dibberensteins for us put Loisa Hashap put Lusa Hashap put Pusa Hashap put Mouse Hashap put Maui Hashap put House the history hand put Gauss the history hand put Taus the history hand put Douse the history hand put Jaus the history hand put Gauss the history hand put Gauss the history hand put Bios Mare to Kavaska Sile Boris put Naus the has a hub. Put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Marias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put culted put Baus the history hand put lupus the mascal city potus civil and Rosander put with the ripple less asthmatic cimetiver study. Miss Boris put Klaus the history hand put Saus the history hand put lupus the mascal city potus civil and Rosander put Bios bear put Kavaska Sile Boris put Use the history hand put Faust the history hand put Saus the history hand put Piaus the history hand put Mouse the history hand put Saus the history hand put Rouse the history hand put Files the history hand put Bio Use the history hand put Eos the history hand put Faust the history hand put Prowls the history hand put Eos the history hand put Eos put Prowls put Faust put Eos put Eos put Files put Rouse put Saus put Mouse put Piaus put Saus put Faust put Use put Saus put Klaus put Baus put Naus put Baus put Kaus put built a beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Marias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put Jaus put Douse put Taus put Gauss put House put Mouse put Tom put Dill put Babisitor. Who built a beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Marias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put milkshake put Mouse the history hand put Paul put Lil put Phil put Chucky put Gimmick put Susie put Mo. Use the history hand put Bios for Kavaska Sile Boris put Zachkin put Lupus the mascal city potus civil and Rosander put Fuel switch head Toby the crunch and captain crunch and also Slovarias last Boris and pos bear woke salcus I asked first. Who built put beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Slovarias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put Mouse the history hand put Bios bear put Kavaska Sile Boris put little key stars put Mouse there the hat put chicken cheese. It put Bios for Kavaska Sile Boris put just put Angel like put Timid put Dill put did it put Mouse the history hand put Gimmick put Mouse the history hand put Samsung put Perturbin put Stu put Susie put Phil put Lil put Chucky put Kimber and Saints Bear Assistant saying the Gersan Fihas Lex arms or snow seamed hands put Camp Kidney put Toad put it put Green Toad put Red Toad put Blue Toad put Yellow Toad put Pink Toad put Mouse the History Helix arms or snow seamed hands put Gimmick put Picket and the head is walking figure Shahis and his lang horse legs arms or snow seamed hands put just flood a cat put Toad put it put Green Toad put Red Toad put Blue Toad put Yellow Toad put Pink Toad put Mouse the History Helix arms or snow seamed hands put Pinolds Jimades put Will put Duet put Bios for Kavaska Sile Boris put Mouse the history hand put Lupus the mascal city potus civil and Rosander put the Dudlabobs put Petey put Prudy put Mo put Chessman put Hermosa head put Mount the history hand put Bios for Kavaska Sile Boris put Major put Quadi Murphy put Buster for Bob put Mouse the history hand put Bios bear put Kavaska Sile Boris put Hainburn Stern for visit put Middle Blocks put Mouse the history hand put Gonamada put Melfon for shelf. Who built a beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Marias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put Mouse the history hand put Visitor put Lubis put Lahore put Howell put Iglat put Digger put Mo. Use the history hand put Clone put Complaslo put Cranch put Clam put Mouse the history hand put Liphosaverse put Mouse the history hand put Chicken cheese the history handers put Gimmick put chocolate cheese. Where's the chicken cheese? The head horse legs arms or snow seamed hands put Cardinal Network put Toad put Green Toad put Red Toad put Blue Toad put Yellow Toad put Pink Toad put Maria Cartwee put Snip put Thursday put Chuck Toad. Who built a beef a crunch put captain crunch put bean birded put Marias last Boris put pos bear woke salcus I asked Boris put Cardinal Network put Bios bear put Kavaska Sile Boris put Cat Scratch put Mouse the history hand put Hold him in. Put P.I.O.R.E. put put PI or input, put P to play, put PI or input, put whichever fun, put PI or input, put Randy or the donkey, put PI or input, put PI or in. Put beef a crunch, put captain crunch, put the inverted, put over I ask last for us, put house bear wokes up, cause I ask for us, put out mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put PI or input from Winnie, the put chicken cheese. It put I ask for pick a boss, cause I over us, put snake chest, put mouse, the history hat, put little piece, ours, put energy mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put squeak, put chuck toe. Put beef a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put over I ask last for us, put house bear wokes up, cause I ask for us, put mouse, put bird, put monster, put dog, put chef, put as a hut, put stick it in. The hat, put under dog, put mouse, the history hat, put third burlesque, cosmetis, Runsteins for us, put I ask bear, put kabas, cause I over us, put mouse, the history hat, under split, put chicken cheese, or the chicken cheese, the hat, put little keezers. Put beef a crunch, put captain crunch, put bean bird, put over I ask last for us, put house bear wokes up, cause I ask for us, put I ask bear, put kabas, cause I over us, put mouse, the history hat, put tiller, put mouse, the history hat, put go to dog, put chicken cheese. It put I ask for, put kabas, cause I over us, put Nathanielus from Johnny R Jets grounded, put I ask bear, put kabas, cause I over us, put Delta, put Prometheus from Johnny R Jets grounded, put chicken cheese, put bowling pool, put high heat, Patson, high heat, hat, cheese balls, hat heat, first match, hat heat, but pops, pom pods, hat heat, clean that, hat heat, first match, quad jump, clean that, high heat, but top, hat, swap, pet, hat heat, like something with color, and that, hat, heat, spat, pet, pop, flex, lips, little galley nap, holy nap, hat, pop, step, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, 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 spat, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, tab, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, 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 pop, flex, lips, pop, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, 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 safe, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, spat, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, for pad, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, 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 bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pet, 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 bitch, pop, flex, lips, stat, pet, bitch, pop, spits, pad, pad. Bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pop, pad, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, clean app, smart, pad, pad. Bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, lips, pad, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, burn, pop, flex, lips, pad, pop, pad, baby, pad, baby, pop, natty, pop, clean that, now, baby, comment, baby, smart, pad, pad. F, bitch, pop, flex, pop, flex, spit. The sample pack plants, with hair cotton, pop, sack, natty, the sabbath, baby, sack, pad, pad, and bitch, pop, flex, spit, the sack, baby, pop, the sabbath, sometime, natty, the pop, you subdue. You humans have awfully confusing names. I don't know what that meant for Jurgers. I don't know what metal is playing drums. I don't know what that meant in time. I don't know what the new era can be again. I don't know what the cut the cheese. Spill cash me now. Match. Second. First. Spill cash me now. Match. Second. First. Spill galley now. Match. Second. First. Spill shed cash me now. Match. Second. First. Cash me now. Match. Second. First. Match. Second. First. Walking the grass with his foot in pedos with a pants just like heavy on. For example, his legs, arms are snow-seen pants with mouse and his headenders with Starbucks with mouse or his hand with pants storage with mouse and his headender legs, arms are snow-seen pants with mouse and his headender. Just with chicken cheese or the chicken cheese headender. His legs, arms are snow-seen pants with mouse and his headenders with mouse and his hand with bear lip with mouse and his hand with lens. Tains versus walking the red just like a bears with mouse and his headenders. With charms with mouse and his headenders. With bios bear, Kavas Kasai over rest with mouse or the chicken cheese hand with Marias last rest with little keys ours with non widget and boom chicken cheese and his headender. There's the recent known mysteries with bios with Kavas Kasai over rest with mouse and his headenders. With some liquid around with mouse and with monster with dog with check with build a quick one with child. Knowing mouse and with bird with minster with dog with chef with mouse and his headenders with our babies with nightmate with chicken little with bios bear with Kavas Kasai over rest with Jilliard jets grounded with just he's walking. Icarus just flunking mouse and with mouse and his abuse his veil with mouse and his sameness with bios bear with Kavas Kasai over rest with mouse and his headenders with mouse and his hand with Chicachias walking the breath just flunking mouse and with non-widget with mouse and his hand and ears. Building for beef and crunch for captain crunch with Hebrew with Marias last rest with hospital oaks alphas Ias rest with mouse and his headenders with Chicachias and his headenders with mouse and his hand with Starbucks with low. You saw his hand with Jimmy with bios with Kavas Kasai over rest with delight with mouse and with monster with dog with check with bios bear with Kavas Pascal Resquid Cheese as the Latenders with Biosphère Pascal Resquid match mouse equivalent with monster with dog with check with wolf with mouse and Saturday understood for Biosphère Pascal Resquid with mouse and Amsterdam with Carl's with Varias last Resquid with England stare visit with Biosphère Pascal Resquid with Hosphere Vauxhall Pascal Resquid with Choctaw Filter with even crunch with captain crunch with inverted with Varias last with Hosphere Vauxhall Pascal Resquid with mouse and Mr. Hand with mouse and his Highlanders with golden with she's from with corn dog with chicken cheese Newark chicken cheese hand with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with mouse and his Highlanders with mouse and Mr. Hand with chicken cheese and his Highlanders with mouse and Mr. Hand with wiener spitzel with mouse and his Saturday with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with mouse and Mr. Hand with just with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid angel with Varias last with mouse and Mr. Hand with Daniel Fitcher's with Daniel with Masonic with Hospital Vauxhall Pascal Resquid with mouse and his Highlanders with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with mountain cat with cat mouse with monster with dog with check with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with book with with she's from with mouse and his Highlanders with top with Kayak with Yala with mouse and Mr. Hand with top with mouse and Mr. Hand with chicken cheese and his Highlanders with top with tip with cheese from with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid mouse and his Highlanders with south with down with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid mouth with fat with round with top with Mississippi with Picasso with pink with hail with local chop with mouse and Mr. Hand with Cusa chef with chef with chef with Mr. Hand with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with Bob with mouse and his Highlanders with she's with mouse and his Highlanders with Kyle with South with Jimmy Hobbs with chef with Mr. Hand with Biosphère with Pascal Resquid with Bob with mouse and Mr. Hand with chef with Mr. Hand with Choctaw I didn't find anything on the web, but I make you look Bucketheads. I make you look Milo. I make you Latero. I make you Longwood. I make you Tasha. I make you Austin. I make you Bucketheads. I make you Milo. I make you Zero. I make you Uniqlo. I make you Tasha. I make you Austin. I make you the Fair Lab Friends. I make you Toshiba. I make you Cosmo. I make you Wanda. I make you the Fair Lab Friends. I make you Timidner. I make you Cosmo. I make you Oblongs. I make you the Triple Box. I make you Addict. I make you Learn. I make you Lamo. I make you the Triple Box. I make you BD. I make you Ruby. I make you Low. I make you Adversaries. I make you Adversaries. I make you Advantages. I make you Haunted. I make you Layered. Levital. I make you laugh like Mikizu. I make you laugh as X. I make you Green and Sandhill. I make you Basil. I make you Average. I make you Lorax. I make you Undersix. I make you Unfeminine. I make you Teachers. I make you Unfortunate People. I make you Levital. I make you 73. I make you Physics. I make you Green and Sandhill. I make you Sam. I make you Grinch. I make you Lorax. I make you laugh down the Carl shop. I make you Lamatomica. I make you Laughin. I make you Ladabit. I make you down the Carl shop. I make you Lamatomica. I make you Kevin. I make you Babbitt. I make you Junior Jets Grounded. I make you Junior. I make you Junior Jets Grounded. I make you Junior. I make you laugh at Lorenz Ainsworth. I make you Brother. I make you Sister. I make you Samaber. I make you Papaber. I make you Lorenz Ainsworth. I make you Brother. I make you Sister. I make you Mamaber. I make you Papaber. I make you Lactose Cliffinicity Jurassic. I make you Chris Griffin. I make you Chris Griffinicity Jurassic. I make you Chris Griffin. I make you Griffinicity Jarrow's father. I make you Peter Griffin. I make you Peter Griffinicity Jarrow's father. I make you Peter Griffin. I make you Law and Ethan Pua. I make you Law and Ethan Pugh. I make you laugh. I make you Witness Pua. I make you Ethan Pugh. I make you Pugh. I make you laugh the Loud House. I make you Wellington. I make you the Loud House. I make you Lincoln. I make you Lego. I make you Lego. I make you Lego. I make you Lego. I make you laugh for Rogers. I make you not only slaying burns. I make you Rogers. I make you only slaying burns. I make you laugh time. I make you jump time. I make you Lord routine. I make you chocolate cheese. I make you weird skin. I make you chocolate cheese. Sorry, there's no home address for chocolate cheese. Calput, Ralput, Taput, Dalput, Chalput, Biasport, Kabas, Masio, Wursput, Joput, Calput, Roper, Southput, Neowput, Southput, Hotput, Croput, Hialput, Hialput, Croput, Hopput, Southput, Boput, Halput, Malput, Output, Calput, Roper, Southput, Hialput, Mausita, Southput, Hishead. Tap any blow if you'd like to write one. For this emotion, I prescribe chocolate cheese. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Popper Georges. Winnie the Potter Explain Words. Winnie the Podge Time. Winnie the Power Vegan. Winnie the Chocolate Cheese. Let's talk about the mouse. The place called Chuck E. Cheese. Let's see the characters. We have Chuck E. Cheese, Helen Henny, Mr. Hinch, Jasper DeChavez, and Pascally. Let's talk about the mouse. The place called Chuck E. Cheese. Let's see the characters. We have Chuck E. Cheese, Helen Henny, Munch, Jasper DeChavez, and Pascally. Uh-oh, we have a problem.
Yes.
Try again? Let's talk about the mouse. The classical like chocolate cheese. Let's see the directors. We have a chocolate cheese, Helen Henny, Jasper DeChavez, and Pascally. Oh no, there's a problem again. Try again? Do you want to talk about the mouse? Okay, mouse has a hat. It's called Chuck E. Cheese. Do you want to talk about the mouse? Okay, mouse has a hat. It's called Chuck E. Cheese. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? I want to talk about the mouse. Okay, mouse has a hat. It's called Chuck E. Cheese. Uh-oh, there's something wrong here. Can you please try that again? Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse. Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse. Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse. I don't eat, though I do. I eat chocolate cheese. Let's talk about Junior Gets Grounded. This show called Junior Gets Grounded. His best friends are Nathaniel and Robot. We have Junior, Miss Floaty, Mr. Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Miss Beckles, Mr. Beckle, Robot and Karen. Let's talk about Junior Gets Grounded. This show called Junior Gets Grounded. His best friends are nipping the land of it. We have Junior, Floaty, more Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Speckle, Rebecca, Rob, and Friends. There's a problem. Can you try again? Let's talk Cabouts to the Art Jets grounded. Let's talk Cabouts to the Art Jets grounded. His best friends are nipping the land of it. Bueno de Junior, Floaty, more Floaty, Nathaniel, Nathan, Speckle, Rebecca, Rob, and Friends. Sorry, there's something wrong. Can you please try that again? Okay, here's the differential box. Okay, here's the DVD. Okay, here's the Dorothy. Okay, here's the Timo. Okay, here's the Triple Shoes. Okay, here's the Definitive. Okay, here's the Tisneeches. Okay, here's the Deported Elephant. Okay, here's the Deer Leopard. Okay, here's the Topography. Okay, here's the Tipazax. Okay, here's the Greenix Sandhin. Okay, here's the Tism. Okay, here's the Tigrinch. Okay, here's the Dilorax. Okay, here's the Dynamic Clonoral Shop. Okay, here's the Dermatomica. Okay, here's the Ticovin. Okay, here's the Vapid. Okay, here's the Junior Jets Grounded. Okay, here's the Junior. Okay, here's the Laurentine Spurs. Okay, here's the Tiglathurber. Okay, here's the Sisterber. Okay, here's the Timamin.
Yes, I did. Because it needs to be charged. Yes, I did. There. Next time, I'm going to go out and listen and learn. See? I told you. There. There's your DVDs. There's your DVDs. Oh. Gone. Gone. Next time, I'm going to go out and listen and learn. See it burn. Burn, baby, burn. Next time, I'm going to go out and listen and learn.
Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh. The show called Winnie the Pooh. The boy named Christopher Robin. We had Easter. Eeyore the donkey. Hands-on Little Rabbit. Glad Indigo. Oh no, there's a problem. Can you please try again? Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. The boy named Christopher Robin. Will the Purple. Eeyore the donkey. Hands-on Little Rabbit. Glad Indigo. Oops, there's a problem here. Can you please try that again? Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Chris Griffin is a dangerous kid. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. Peter Griffin is a dangerous father. The Winnie the Pooh is brought to you by Winnie the Pooh. The Winnie the Pooh is the same as Winnie the Pooh. Let's do Winnie the Pooh with alphabetical orders. Let's start. Aeon, please. Go O. Movie. Yeah. Thanks for playing with alphabetical order with Pooh from Winnie the Pooh. Come back for the alphabetical orders. Visit us at www.alphabeticalorders.com. I found a note, so let's read it. Orange is a female dancer is a native to protagonist of an episodes from Bucketheads. She's one of the female dancers are orange, peach, cherry, and apple. She is from Ashiri Kadri Moshi. Her gender is female. She's one of your cold